Oh, oh, hello there. I didn't see you come in. Don't mind me. I was just appreciating some of the finer things in life. And you know what? I think we could all stand to do the same for a little while today, right? Whatever your budget may be, sometimes it's nice to just observe a thoughtfully designed item and appreciate what it represents. Because I know I don't have to tell most viewers of this channel that a pen is often far from just a pen. It's a story of design, engineering, aesthetics, and more. And today, we'll be taking a little time to appreciate and offer my candid impressions of some of the amazing and sometimes mesmerizing color finishes available for the luxuriously thoughtful Caran Léman collection. The Léman collection is one of Caran d'Ache's highest-end offerings in fine writing, and it really shows. Careful attention to craftsmanship and detail work is apparent in every little glint of the unique patterning you'll find on many examples in this collection, including all the models we have here today. The overall color palette and pattern work of these pens is thoughtfully derived from the many vistas of Lake Geneva, a very local source of natural majesty to Caran d'Ache's headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. Caran d'Ache's greatest pride of these pens lies in the intersection of flawless lacquering over stunning and precise guilloche engraving. I'm sure you'll hear me ramble on about how great all that handiwork is as I offer you my impressions of each of these models. First up, we have the Caran d'Ache Léman Caviar in the rollerball mode. So, first impressions, this pen is absolutely gorgeous. Like I said before, you'll probably hear me saying the same things over and over for each of these pens, because I think they're all equally gorgeous. But specifically with this pen, you'll see that it has a very fish scale-like pattern in the engraving. And, you know, you look at it and you see dimension in how it reflects light. But to the touch, it's smooth. It's very smooth, and it feels substantial in addition to that. See that at post, just like that. It has, of course, a polished metal grip section, screw-on cap, and at the very top, you'll see it has a Caran d'Ache abbreviated logo. But again, I think the evoking of scale and fish imagery is what's really key to this pen. It makes it really unique. You don't really see that in a lot of pens. And while that may sound weird at first, it still manages to be incredibly luxurious in appearance. Like you would have no trouble finding this on a executive's desk, mayhaps. And I think the color is also very gorgeous. At first glance, it almost seems just like plain grayscale metallic, but it's actually a little bit bronze and amber in the lacquer itself, which is really cool. Yeah, overall, with the combination of the patterning of the guilloche and the color and the way that it reflects light, I definitely am not surprised that they landed on the Caviar nomenclature for this pen. It's beautiful. Next up, we have the Caran d'Ache Léman de Nuit. This pen is incredible. I think it's way more my style personally, even though the Caviar was beautiful. I really like the grid-like pattern that you find in the guilloche engraving and shaping of the finish. It's geometric, it evokes more of a, I guess, Bauhaus aesthetic. It's not minimal, but it certainly evokes a more sort of, I don't know, rigid and right angle sensibility, if that makes sense. But also, it's very stealthy. It's got a very gray-black complexion with maybe just a hint of the same amber that you might find on the Caviar. You see this example is a ballpoint pen. It's got a twist action on the cap here. And it also has the same rhodium plated hardware that you found on the Caviar as well. We have the logo along the cap band, along with the words Swiss made, because of course. Now my understanding of this pattern is that it is called the Cloud de Paris hobnail pattern. And it is just very, very three-dimensional, even more so than the Caviar. It's like a very pronounced grid of squares, but the squares have like a carving to them. And each of them has a shadow and a highlight, and the end result is just something that you could probably spend hours looking at. And in the same way that the Caviar may have been evoking the wildlife that is in Lake Geneva, this pen, I believe, is meant to evoke a nighttime scene that you might spend by the lakeside. Now, I think this next one is one of the standouts of this tiny little subsection of the collection that I have here. It's the Léman Rouge Carmine. It is just one of the most vibrantly red pens that I've ever seen. But it's not plain red. It has a lot of texture to it. On it, if you look closely enough, you'll find a very intricate geometric pattern to it. And one thing that I noticed about this pen as I was looking at it just now is at a certain point, it becomes hard to actually focus your eyes on a single point in the pattern. It's almost like a optical illusion, but that is not by any means a complaint. This is a very cool pen to look at, and it will certainly catch the eye of anyone passing by your desk or writing station. As we untwist the cap here, you'll see it's a fountain pen. It has an 18-karat gold nib. It happens to be a broad nib. Goes just like that. Feels very substantial in the hand, again, just like the other Lémans. You know you're holding something of value and intent. It's very well balanced. On this example, you'll see it has Caran signature hexagon shape in the signature red color that exists on the rest of the pen. Again, rhodium plated trim. Now, I believe the design intent of the Rouge Carmine's color was to evoke a very powerful and saturated sunset that you might spot on any evening of Lake Geneva. And I think it really shows. Now, one thing I really like specifically about this color is that it's really not a flat red anywhere. Between the highlights and the shadows of the geometric guilloche pattern and the way that the lacquer is applied to the pen, it's like you have darker shades of red as your eye travels to the edges visually of the pen compared to the center. So it's almost like you're looking at a ruby or something, you know, like a precious gemstone. At any rate, this is definitely one of my favorites. And now the last pen that I have here today. As I said before, the Rouge Carmine was one of my favorites, but I have to say that this is my favorite Léman color. This is the Léman Grand Bleu. As you can see, it has an absolutely gorgeous, almost sky blue sheen to it, and it's very reflective. As you look closer, you notice a very rippled and undulating pattern in the guilloche engraving of the body that is a beautiful, beautiful representation of the ripples of water just kissing the coastline of Lake Geneva, I imagine. You turn it and you tilt it, and the light hits the ripples in different ways, and it almost looks like it's moving beneath the surface of the lacquer, which again is masterfully applied. You see all this texture and you expect to be able to feel it, but you don't. It's just buttery smooth, and that's for the better, I think. This, of course, being a fountain pen. It's an 18-karat gold nib, medium point. I mean, just come on. It's beautiful. Similar to the others, we have a round brass body and rhodium-plated appointments. At the top of this pen, we have more of the hexagonal iconography of Caran. And you'll notice that both of the ends are also flat. So the bottom is flat and it has a rhodium-plated sort of cap on it. The clip, too, is very nice. It has a nice hinge action to it. Very substantial. And one of the last things that I want to mention is the twist action of the pen is very nice. You know, you can't always take that for granted among all the many, many pens that we're aware of. But when you twist this, it takes a very short motion. Now, that might make you think that it could come off more easily, but the last 15% or so of the twisting range has a little more friction to it than the rest. And it caps in one smooth motion. I can't really say much more than that. It's satisfying. And there you have it. A quick look into this illustrious collection of luxury fine writing instruments by Caran. Many colors and modes of the Léman, including alternative finishes like matte and plain lacquered, are available now at goldspot.com. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button to see more fine writing videos like this one, including tips and tricks, reviews and unboxings, interviews, and more. Thank you for watching, and stay inky, my friends. Take care.